brain just refuses to follow all the way. You think I should sound, yeah, I don't fit in, I'm not ashamed, I was born to be loud. I am a free soul, I can't be locked down. I love big and I sing loud. I am a free soul, I don't fit in. Say what you like, but I'll just keep dancing. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. See, I've never been good at blending in, no, but that's not from a lack of trying. And just because I don't sound like you, yeah, it doesn't mean I don't have a song that's true. Hey, 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 hey. I am a free soul. I can't be.
Rebecca, thank you so much for joining us this Thanksgiving Day.
Hi, hello, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there.
Oh, we do appreciate it. You know, and I was telling my wife, Ashley, you know, she said, you're going to do an interview on Thanksgiving. And I said, to me, that means more than anything, especially for our troops and all those who are stationed, you know, around the world. They can't go home. So they don't get a day off. And I just thought it was very, just very special of you to do that. So thank you so much. I wanted to
Yeah, I think it's important too. I'm with some extended family here in Huntsville, Alabama, but I'm missing my immediate family today too. And so my heart goes out to all of you who aren't able to be home today.
All right. We know that, well, if they go out to your website and our website, we know that you're a Texas native from San Antonio, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Beautiful city, the Alamo, Ashley, the Riverwalk, been there. Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
Then you are, I guess, camped out, if you will, or whatever you want to call it in Nashville, Tennessee, right?
Yes, I've been living in Nashville for a few years. We moved actually with hardly any money. We had a little bit saved up. Neither myself nor my husband had jobs at the time, and we just knew that we had to do something drastic. It was right in the middle of the crash of everything a few years ago, and we knew that it was make or break time. So it was time for us to make a leap of faith and go to Nashville. So we've kind of made our home away from home there, and I've been pursuing music ever since. So
now, before we get into your career and your music and everything, you told me to ask you about your Thanksgiving festivals there with your family in Huntsville, Alabama. Do tell.
Okay, yeah, we are actually, it's freezing cold out. Well, to me it is because I'm from South Texas, but it's cold here today, and we just finished eating. There's a ton of people and kids downstairs all, having a great time, and I did not help. I helped make the salad this year. I didn't help make anything significant this year, but we just finished eating, so I have like turkey coma, and I'm so tired. But yeah, we're having a great time. I'm with my husband's aunt and uncles, and some of our extended family, grandma and grandpas. So we're having a great time.
I know my wife and I, we from time to time, we've ventured down to Alabama. We love to vacation down there. Great.
It's gorgeous.
Yes, it absolutely is. All right, now let's get to you. Your music, as your fans have described you, is soulful, acoustic, pop. Wow, that's kind of 3 words you usually don't get together.
Yeah, it's kind of a mesh of things, that's for sure. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted my style to be, but I think that as I worked more and more on my music, when I got to Nashville, I realized that a lot of the elements of my songwriting are very soulful, and I play guitar, and so naturally I've got that acoustic sound, and then I'm just a sucker for pop. I love pop melodies, pop hooks, and so that's kind of how I came about my kind of signature sound. So.
Now, do you usually write most of your songs or all of your songs?
I do. I write a lot. I write with some great co-writers in Nashville. Free Soul, I actually wrote by myself. I was mad because people kept telling me that my voice doesn't sound like anybody else's, and where do I fit in? And I just got tired of getting, the runaround of, well, you need to fit in a little more. You need to fit in a little more. And so I wrote Free Soul kind of as like a tongue-in-cheek response to that. And that one I wrote by myself. And then my radio single, Far From Heaven, that I guess you're going to play later, I also wrote that by myself. That is about me and my husband were having a really rough year. And I wrote that song for us, basically saying no matter what, everything's going to be okay. And so it's one of those happy, upbeat, it's going to be all right songs.
Well,
So
let's go back to what you just said a minute ago. You said, people said you don't sound like anyone else. You got to fit in. I find that kind of insulting, actually. I love your sound, and I think people should be eating up your individuality.
well, some do. I would say, my fans, my strongest supporters do. But it's interesting being part of the music industry. You find individuals that are incredibly excited about a unique sound. And then you also find a lot of people who are a little bit scared of it because they don't quite know what box to fit you in. And I've always been that person that I never quite fit in a box. But I like that. I think that's part of my message is a lot of us don't. A lot of us spend a lot of time trying to fit in. And I think it's a big message in the world we live in right now to just be yourself and the rest will follow. So that's what I'm trying to do with my music.
Well, let me give you some advice, and I'm not, preaching or anything else. I'm a DJ who is anything but conventional, to say the least. I play a lot of music that a lot of people don't play. I am a vet, and everybody says, well, this is American Veterans Radio, and you're playing this really crazy, far-out song. And I said, you know what? I wore the uniform as well. And I also know that when I was in wherever I was, I didn't want to hear some, I call it boohoo music, right? I wanted stuff, right?
Right.
I try to put myself into the shoes of our veterans around the world. So, yeah, you know what? I actually call that a banner. I put that up there as saying that's a good thing. So you keep on being like anyone, not like anyone else, I should say, because you're phenomenal. Just
Well, thank you.
stay yourself. Now, okay, let's get serious for a second. You wrote a song which we've been playing. I will be the first to admit that it is one of those songs that brought a tear to this old man's eyes.
The Never Came Back to Me song.
Yes, the Never Came Back. And please do. I've read the story, but I want everyone to hear this.
Well, I have a very close friend of mine in Nashville, and her husband had been away on, I think, 3 or 4 tours. He was on his way back, and I was sitting in her kitchen one day, and she was trying to explain to me how much she respected and loved and admired her husband, but how difficult it was because she felt so powerless. He came back struggling from PTSD, among some other injuries. And she just sat across the kitchen table from me and said, Rebecca, I just wish that I had a way of telling him how much I love and respect him, and yet how much I want to do something, because I feel like he never really came back all the way. He's there, but a lot of people come back struggling from PTSD, and it's definitely, I'm not a veteran myself. I haven't been in active military, but I know a lot of friends who have, and it's definitely a culture shock when you come back from being overseas. And so this song is about, I wanted to give her and other families a voice and help them communicate to their loved ones. And so I wrote the song. It's called Never Came Back. And she played it for her husband, and she actually shared it on several Army Wives forums. And it just got circulated around the country. And I had family after family writing in saying that it really helped them express to their loved ones how they were feeling and actually helped them heal. So that was really cool for me because I just wrote it for her, trying to give her a voice, and it ended up being something that actually gave a lot of families a voice and actually helped heal a lot of families. So that was really neat.
Really neat. Are you kidding me? That is phenomenal. If you never do anything else in your life, if you've done that, my friend, you've accomplished a lot.
That's what I think that, a lot of songwriters, I mean, that's what we're all about. You come into music because it's fun and you want to have a great time and you want to entertain. But I think the real heart of music is healing and touching the human soul and being real and raw. And that's why I love this song so much, because I feel like it really touches the human soul, and it says, this is who we are as people and this is what we struggle with. And I love you through it. So yeah, it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written, and I gifted it to her, and it will always be her and her family's as a gift.
Thank you, because I mean, like I said, being a vet, and so many of our veterans who tune in, you have no idea. So thank you. All right, now let's go on. Now you talk about struggles, and we all have different struggles, whatever we're doing in life. But I do know, and we've been doing a lot of interviews. We're going to be 5 years old coming up, not too long, not too far away. And we've done a lot of interviews with a lot of independent artists. And I know there's a lot of struggles with independent artists. So let me ask you, first of all, what is some of the biggest hurdles you have as an indie artist? And then I'll share something with you.
Well, I think the biggest hurdle that I've faced in the recent years, I know this sounds kind of obvious, but is money. When you're starting any kind of business or any kind of art, back in the day, you'd have patrons of the art, people who were actively saying, we are patrons of art. We want to help support you monetarily. And so one of the hardest things is just sometimes it feels like you're trying to push a train with your own bare hands, that you're trying to get the wheels rolling without a lot of resources. So I would say as an independent artist, one of the biggest struggles is just being able to have the funds to make the caliber of art that you want to make. But then, on the emotional side of it is being told no all the time. Yeah, you get a lot of yeses, but then you also get a lot of no's, and you get really tough from it. So I guess it's a good thing, but it definitely is a struggle and an up and down battle to where I want to go and where us as independent artists want to go.
Well, all right. Now here's my follow-up question to that. And that was the fact that a man that I respect, and I hope you get a chance to listen to, Jason Mark Yates, who's from the United Kingdom. Great supporter of the radio station. I just love the guy to death. I had an opportunity to interview him. And I asked him this question, so I'm going to ask you this question. I've been reading so many times where because of being noticed, and I'll just put that for lack of a better word, or getting a label or, record company to pick you up, once people or artists do get picked up, a lot of times they're so restrictive, they lose their individuality. So I've been reading where a lot of independent artists are choosing to stay independent.
Yeah,
Think about that.
There's a lot of pros to that, absolutely. And a lot of that is you get to, kind of like I was telling you earlier, you get to keep your voice, you get to keep your individuality, which I think is art. That is what art is being unique and not pigeonholed into being somebody else. The pros of that are that you have that freedom. The cons are that it's changing every day. The game's changing every day. And independent artists are gaining more and more opportunities like this to be, on the radio and to be able to get their music out to the general public. But there are also a lot of obstacles because you don't have the resources of a conventional label to maybe market you. But I will say on the flip side of that, you really grow as I would say as a business owner, you grow because you're building it from the ground up, and you're seeing it flourish on your own, without the undershadowing or the overshadowing of a label. So it's a give or take. I think there's a lot of pros and cons to both, but I think that independent artists who can just make a go at it, and what I'm trying to do, I just think it's really incredible. It says a lot if you're able to make a business out of it without the help of a label.
You know what? You just hit on something, and I should have known it. It sounds pretty obvious, but I've never heard it said like that. Independent artists are a business. You're a business, just like American Veterans Radio is a business. I really looked at it that way, and that's basically you are the commodity.
You're trying to, and your art, and that's where it gets tricky, is because you want to stay artist, you want to stay 100% artist, but when you're independent, you've also got to have that business hat that you put on, and sometimes that can be a really great thing. Like I love business, I love marketing, so for me, it's a good fit for right now, but sometimes it's nice to have someone else wear that business hat so that you can just be 100% artist and you can just focus on your art. So again, there's pros and cons to both, but either way, you grow a lot. So
And you know what? I do appreciate you being honest about that because, I mean, it is, I mean, just like many of us, whatever business you have, money is always seems to be the obstacle, correct? Right? So, I mean, I get it. I do. So, but, now let's go back to that. You got a business, the money, and you have you. So how do you take all three of those and what do you do with them on a weekly basis? What is your normal week about?
sorry, I had a little kid just walk in. She wants to get in the playroom. I'm talking on the in the playroom. You said on a weekly basis, what does my music life look like? Um, I love to get in a few writing sessions a week. I think it's very important to put the art at the center of everything, and writing to me is like journaling, and so I really try to put that at the center of my week. So oftentimes I'll wake up in the morning, make myself some coffee because I'm addicted to coffee, and write whatever's on my mind for that week. And then the rest of the week is filled with shows and booking and there's a lot of upkeep, like I'll have to make a flyer for this or have a meeting for that, but it's all really fun because I know that in my heart I'm taking a chance on something I love, and so the work is a lot, but it's fun work and it's enjoyable work because I'm doing something that I believe in and that I'm really excited to do. And it's a risk, but every day I wake up knowing that I'm being brave and taking that risk.
All right, talk about doing all that. Now I ask you about what you do on your normal week because it is a business, right? So what do you do when you're not dealing with music?
Well, like other hobbies and outside activities. I love to, I love to spend time with Nathan, my husband. I got married young and he's my best friend and we still get along really good. So we hang out a lot. And I'm actually very into nutrition and health, and so I do a lot of cooking and love to read. We're both readers, and so I think that's a huge part too as an artist is to feed yourself with outside stuff. So making sure I spend time with family and friends and cooking and reading and things that fill me as a person, and then I can in turn turn around and put that into my art because art is life. And so if you're not living life and you're not living it to its fullest, then it's hard to turn around and create art. So I think that's an important part of what I do is my downtime as well.
But have you noticed, and I know I do as well, I notice that even on my downtime, I find something that I like to talk about when I'm on the radio. So does some of that, even your downtime, end up maybe coming into your music, coming into your writing?
Oh, very much so. So like this next song that you're going to play in a few minutes, Far From Heaven, like I said, we were having a hard year and we had the opportunity to go over to Europe for Nathan's school. And it was part of his program, so oh darn, we had to go. And it was downtime. I mean, it was unexpected downtime during a really difficult time in our lives, and that's where the entire song came from. Was we're far from heaven, but we can feel the taste of it. We can see that there's a world outside of our troubles. And so actually, yeah, I mean, very often I write about things that happen in my downtime, happen in my life. Actually, every song, I really try to have almost every song I write is about me or somebody very close to me so that it stays very personal, very authentic, very real.
Rebecca, I appreciate you, and I know all of our great listeners do around the world, for you taking time out this Thanksgiving Day of all things. It means more than to me, and I'm sure to all of our listeners. How can our listeners get your album? How can they contact you?
Well, I have a website, so it's RebeccaMoreland.com. like as in I want Moreland, Moreland.com, and I'm sure you can find that on the radio's website as well.
Yes.
But so you can fill out the best way to get notified about my album when it is going to be out. I'm working on it right now, but it probably won't be out for several more months. So if you go to my website and you sign up for my email notifications, I'm going to email all my fans when it's when the single's out and then when the album's ready. So that's the best way to stay in contact with me. And then you can also hear my music on Facebook. So you can look up my name on Facebook and you can see the profile and everything and all that fun stuff on there too.
Once again, you are such a talent. You're such a powerhouse. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for allowing us to step into your world.
Well, thank you. Yes, I'm so happy to be able to say hi to everybody on Thanksgiving and hello around the world. And we just appreciate you. And I'm happy to be a part of, this program.
Thank you so much. Everybody, go watch our website, www.avradio.org, and go to our Artist Spotlight of the Week, and you will find Rebecca Moreland. Click on her photograph, and it will take you to that website.